on the sidelines of the Indian vegetable oil, event, we do have with us Manisha, who did speak with Malaysia's Plantation Minister, Johari Bin Abdul Ghani. She quizzed him about his interactions with the Indian edible oil stakeholders and more. In fact, it's a very interesting conversation. We should listen into that.
India is an important market for palm, with 1.4 million population, 1.4 billion population. We almost control 36% of a palm oil vis-a-vis the edible oil requirement in India. And with the growing middle income population in India, it's a huge potential in India. And this is where we want to make sure that, we want to have the first mover advantage to introduce to India about the sustainably production of palm. I mean, we want to bring our mission, sustainable palm oil, into India to explain to all the Indian players that with this sustainability formula that we bring, that will take any product that they produce, a consumer product, to go anywhere to the world, because the world will accept that. So this is where we want to make sure that we will comply with all these sustainability requirements by the world. As a country, Malaysia, we have committed that we want to make sure that as a country, our forest cover must not less than 50%. So we will make sure there's no more deforestation. Today we stand at 54% of forest cover. You must make sure that there's a traceability of all our products, that when they go out from Malaysia, they must have that traceability, and then they must have legitimate title when they plant the palm oil. And number 4, we must make sure that we comply with international labor practices under the ILO guidance.
Mr. Minister, we do understand that both the countries are quite thick when it comes to especially edible oil.
Yeah.
There are various policies being made right now. What is your sense on 1, the Indian policies, 2, the Indian demand, which is ever growing, and 3, the sustainability or the food security part of it?
So you must understand that the key factors that we want to play our part here is that India is always stressing on food securities. So likewise, a certain agriculture product that we buy from India, like for example rice, onion, we also concerned with our people. So if we can collaborate together, both need each other, then we can make sure that all our palm oil will be. We will ensure there is enough supply of palm oil for India.
Okay. There is various other things also happening. You've talked about climate change and sustainability and deforestation, of course, but geopolitics, currencies, so many elections happening world over. How are you working with all of this macro changes?
We need to address every company differently, because we need to know exactly, like India, for example. The agenda is to make sure that enough food to take care of 1.4 billion. Then how do you play your role in order to work and collaborate with India? And if you go to any other smaller countries, their requirements are different. So this is where we need to make sure we are very agile in our policies, and we must make sure that, at the end of the day, if you want to have a long-term relationship, it has to be a win-win situation.
I also want to ask one more question. This is an era where we have seen, we have so many FTAs and trade conversations and, those kind of things happening. Where do you stand within that?
Yeah, I prefer to deal, country by country FTA, because from there, both of these countries will be able to have a win-win situation. We can know specifically how to adjust, and if something that it doesn't work, we can sit down. It's much easier to work, rather than you share with so many countries. That will sometimes it will not benefit a certain country, and certain country when we do the dealing, it's not a win-win situation. But however, there's a certain matters that we need to look as a group, that everyone benefit vis-a-vis other region. For example, if you talk about ASEAN, for example, or Asia, then we need also to make sure that we protect our market vis-a-vis European, for example. So this is something that we need to work together.
Right. So we've talked about palm oil. One final question I'm going to squeeze in. You also are the Minister of Commodities. How are you looking at the overall bigger game here?
The bigger game here is actually we must always put a lot of effort to increase the yield instead of increase the land usage. So by doing that, we will be able to save the world. We can do business, we can grow our economy without sacrificing, the environment.
You met the industry last evening. There's been a big meeting, I understand, hours and hours. What is their feedback to you?
They're very excited. They're very excited with us, and we're also very excited with them. There's a lot of opportunity that we need to explore.
Okay, so that's the update on the commodity space. We need to take a short break. Just keep